Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Miss Basirah, and for this session we are going to learn taxation for real estate investment trust. You can refer to chapter 12 in your textbook, and sections relevant to these topics are section 61A and section 109D. Let's look at the learning outcome first. We have 3 outcomes for this chapter. First, you should be able to explain the tax treatment on REITs and the distributions of income to unit holders. Secondly, you should be able to explain the responsibility of REITs as per section 109D in pursuant to the applications of tax exemptions under section 61A. And last but not least, you at the end of this topic, you should be able to compute the income tax payable for REITs. So let's get started.
Okay, first and foremost, let's look at the definition of REITs according to section 2 ITA 1967. It is a real estate investment trust that constituted as a collective investment scheme. So this one is a types of unit trust that invests at least 50% of its total asset in real estate. So here, by saying real estate, we are referring to land, buildings, shares or bond in real estate company. Okay, so kalau dia adalah satu unit trust tapi investment dia tu lebih daripada 50%, kiranya majority of its investment dalam real estate, yang ni kita kira dia sebagai real estate investment trust. Okay, so rental income received by a REIT from its investment in real properties is treated as gross income from a business source. Before this, we have learned that kalau you dapat income dalam bentuk rental, it will be treated under section 4D. D for donkey, right? Rental 4D. But untuk REITs, sebab dia punya main activity adalah investment dalam real property. Therefore, main source of income dia datang dalam bentuk rent lah, rental kan. So, untuk REITs, perbezaan yang pertama, rental income received by REITs will be treated as business income. So, kita akan letak bawah section 4A, bukan 4D macam ordinary business yang biasa. Alright, so the government had introduced special tax treatment to promote the growth of REITs. Later kita akan tengoklah apa yang specialnya REITs ni berbanding dengan bisnes yang lain. But for this time, you have to bear in mind, ingat betul-betul, perbezaan yang pertama untuk REITs, rental income akan dikira sebagai business income. So kita akan letak bawah 4A bukan 4D. Next, we are going to look at the deductibility of expenses. So, any expenses wholly and exclusively incurred in the production of the rental income are allowable against rental income. Dia dapat income dalam bentuk rental. So, in order to get the income, company have to incur some expenses. Expenses directly incurred in relating to producing rental income dibenarkan untuk tolak. Okay. The amount of deductible expenses incurred in a YA, however, is restricted to the gross income from the letting of property in that YA. So, dia kata expenses yang berkaitan dengan rental, for example, kita sewakan real property, lepas tu kita incur electricity. So, electricity tu berkait dengan that rental property. So, boleh tolak. But dia restrictkan kepada berapa gross income yang you ada pada tahun tu. Kiranya tak naklah ada negatif kan. Kalau let's say I dapat rental income sebanyak 100,000, so I boleh tolak rental expenses yang incurred wholly and exclusively sebanyak 100,000 sahaja. Let's say my expenses is more than that, I dah tak boleh nak deduct lebih daripada itu. Dia akan restrictkan ataupun limitkan kepada berapa amount of your income in that particular YA. Okay, so nampak kat situ I highlight any excess of expenditure is disregarded. What do we mean by disregarded? Disregarded means we going to ignore the excess. Kiranya kalau kita ada expenses more than income untuk tahun tu, kita akan incur loss. The business loss will be a permanent loss and is not allowed to be carried forward to the future year. So this one adalah different nombor 2. Apa yang membezakan REITs dengan bisnes biasa? Kalau bisnes biasa, kita ada expenses lebih daripada income, so we are suffering loss. Loss boleh tolak current year business loss, tolak daripada aggregate income. And kalau belum habis guna, dia akan jadi unabsorbed loss. Unabsorbed loss carry forward ataupun brought forward boleh tolak against statutory business income. However, for REITs, the loss will be disregarded. Dia akan jadi permanent loss dan sampai situ je. You cannot carry forward the loss to the future year. That's the second difference. Next, we're going to look at the remuneration of a REITs manager. Gaji untuk pengurus REITs. Since dia uruskan REITs, kiranya dia uruskan business. It is considered as business expenses, therefore it is deductible. However, the trustee fee is not an allowable expenses. So you should still remember, you kena ingat ni, yang kalau trustee uruskan trust, gaji trustee tak boleh tolak. So samalah konsep dekat sini. Trustee fee for managing the trust is not deductible, while REITs manager, dia menguruskan REITs, menguruskan business. Therefore, manager's remuneration is deductible. The second expenses here, we have establishment expenditure. So, sometimes REITs, dia akan incur establishment expenditure. Contoh macam legal, valuation and consultancy fees incurred for establishing a REITs prior to an approval by the SC. Sebelum dia dapat approval daripada Securities Commission to be declared as a REITs, dia macam kena lalui pelbagai proses lah. Kena bayar dekat lawyer, ada valuation semua-semua tu. So, expenses yang incurred berkaitan dengan establishment boleh ditolak sebab dia kira incurred directly in the production of rental income. Okay, next kita tengok capital allowance. So, capital allowance is allowable, sama macam treatment untuk business lain. Boleh tolak capital allowance. However, the amount of capital allowance is restricted to the adjusted income from the letting of property for that YA only. So, konsep dia sama macam business expenses tadi. Capital allowance, CA, boleh tolak. Tolak daripada mana? Tolak daripada adjusted income to arrive at statutory income. But, berapa yang you boleh tolak, dia akan limitkan kepada the amount of your adjusted income. So, let's say tahun tu adjusted income you have 200,000 and your CA is 80,000. Jadinya 80,000 boleh tolak semualah. So, I tukar sikit situation. my adjusted income for YA 2020 is 100,000 and my CA capital allowance I ada 120,000. Berapa yang CA yang I boleh tolak? I hanya boleh tolak sebanyak 100 sahaja. 100,000 sahaja sebab I punya adjusted income is only 100k. So apa jadi dekat yang lebih tadi tu? Yang 20,000 lagi tu sebab I ada CA 120,000. Kalau bisnes biasa, CA yang tak habis guna, unabsorbed CA, we are allowed to carry forward. However, untuk REITs, any excess capital allowance is not allowed to be carry forward. So, sampai tahun tu je. Kalau you tak habis guna tahun tu, you tak dibenarkan untuk bawa ke tahun-tahun depan. Dia sama macam business loss tadi, sampai di situ sahaja. This one adalah perbezaan nombor 3. Apa yang membezakan REITs dengan bisnes biasa? CA yang belum habis utilize, unabsorbed CA cannot be carry forward to subsequent years. It will be permanent loss and the excess of CA tu akan disregarded. Okay, so far you dah tahu dah treatment untuk REITs. Kalau ada business loss, tak boleh carry forward ke tahun depan. Kalau ada CA yang excess, yang tak guna tahun tu, tak boleh carry forward ke tahun depan juga. Dan apa lagi? Oh, lagi satu yang rental akan ditreat sebagai business income bawah 4A. So far, you might be wondering kan, apa yang specialnya REITs? Tadi masa awal-awal session, I bagi tahu yang government nak promote REITs. So, government macam bagi special treatment. Apa yang specialnya dia? Kalau kita tengok macam tak special pun, since business loss cannot be carried forward, excess of CA pun akan disregarded sahaja. So here is actually a special yang diberi kepada REITs sebab according to section 61A, capital A, it provides that a listed REITs. So buka mata besar-besar kat situ ataupun you boleh highlight listed REITs. Kalau REITs tu disenaraikan, listed, okay? Senaraikan kat mana? Senaraikan dekat bursa lah, sebenarnya kat Malaysia ni. So, a listed REITs is fully exempt from tax for a YA if tak payah bayar tax langsung untuk 1 tahun taksiran tu kalau, okay, dia ada syarat dia, kalau it distributes 90% or more of its total income to its unit holders in the basis period for that YA. Okay, so ada beberapa point here. Section 61A besar kata listed REITs. So, point yang pertama, listed REITs. Point yang kedua, fully exempted from tax. Akan tak payah bayar tax langsung untuk tahun taksiran tu. Point yang ketiga, if it distribute 90% of its total income to its unit holders. So, ada 3 point listed REITs, exempted from tax, syarat dia distribute 90% ataupun lebih daripada total income for that YA to its unit holders. Ada 3 point penting untuk you betul-betul absorb here. Okay, so dia cerita sedikit berkenaan dengan distribution to unit holders. REITs ni, bila dia buat business, buat rental of real property, dia akan dapat income. So, income from trust tu, unit trust tu akan dibahagikan kepada unit holders lah. Sama macam shareholders. Shareholders akan dapat income daripada REITs. Okay, so dia kata REITs tak perlu bayar tax kalau dia distribute income pada tahun tu lebih 90% daripada dia punya total income tu kepada unit holder. So, tak payah bayar tax. What about REITs yang dia tahu pasal disinsentif ataupun this tax exemption ni kan, specialnya tak payah bayar tax, tapi dia kira-kira balik distribution made to unit holders for that YA tak cukup 90%. So adakah dia sudah terlepas peluang keemasan untuk dikecualikan daripada cukai? Government masih lagi baik hati, government akan bagi REITs a grace period of 2 months. Dia akan bagi you tempoh masa kejederaan 2 bulan from the closing of its account to increase the balance for the amount distributed to unit holders as to qualify for tax exemption. So I put it into illustration. Let's say kita punya closing 31 Disember. By 31st of December 2020, kira balik percentage of income distribute to unit holders tahun ni over total total income, I baru ada 85%. So I tak qualify for exemption. So apa yang I boleh buat? Dalam tempoh 2 bulan daripada tarikh I close my account 31st December tadi tu, I kena pergi tambahkan lagi distribution to unit holders supaya I can reach up to 90%. So dalam tempoh 2 bulan tu I kena tambahkan lagi, bila dia calculate balik more than 90% of total income being distributed to unit holders. Therefore, a listed REIT is exempted from tax. Okay?